Have you ever felt a sudden shift in the air? It's as if we're tuned into a silent broadcast, connecting us in ways we're beginning to understand. Our minds and emotions are part of a vast, interconnected web, global consciousness. What if, when millions feel the same joy or sorrow, all those lights brightened in unison? Our collective thoughts and feelings create a unified field of awareness. This isn't just philosophy, it's an emerging scientific frontier. We may be nodes in a living thinking network spanning the planet. Let's unlock the potential of a truly conscious planet. The idea of a collective consciousness isn't new. Ancient wisdom traditions speak of the interconnectedness of all beings. Spiritual philosophies saw the world not as separate objects, but as a unified whole. The well-being of the individual was inseparable from the well-being of the community. For a long time, these ideas were separate from science. But now, a bridge is being built between these two worlds. Neuroscience, quantum physics, and technology are beginning to resonate with ancient spiritual insights. The divide between science and wisdom is starting to close, making the study of global consciousness incredibly exciting. It's about integrating different ways of knowing, creating a more complete understanding of who we are together. Science is exploring the idea that our minds are linked in a global network. Now technology may help us see it. At Princeton University in 1998, the Global Consciousness Project, or GCP, began. It used a global network of random number generators, or RNGs, nicknamed eggs. The goal was to see if major global events could leave a measurable imprint. The GCP proposed that shared emotional experiences might cause the randomness to waver. Could collective consciousness influence these machines? They searched for tiny deviations from randomness coinciding with intense global focus. The project soon delivered results that challenged our understanding of the connection between mind and matter. The Global Consciousness Project did not have to wait long for its first major test. Over the years, the network recorded data during hundreds of significant global events. And time again, something remarkable appeared in the data. During moments of widespread shared experience, the random numbers seemed to become less random. One of the earliest and most poignant examples was the death of Princess Diana in 1997, even before the project was formally established. As hundreds of millions of people mourned together, the data from the early RNGs showed a distinct shift towards order. It was a faint signal, but it was there, a whisper in the machine. Then came September 11th, 2001. As the world watched in horror and disbelief, the GCP's network of random number generators produced one of the most significant deviations from chance ever recorded. In the hours during and after the attacks, as a wave of shock, grief, and shared focus washed over the planet, the output of these machines became dramatically more structured. The graphs, which should have been flat and random, showed a stark, towering spike. It was as if the collective emotional outcry of humanity had been imprinted directly onto the data, a silent scream captured by these sensitive electronic devices scattered across the globe. This pattern repeated itself during other global moments. The devastating Asian tsunami of 2004, the joyous celebrations of New Year's Eve, the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, all of these events were associated with statistically significant shifts in the RNG data. The results pointed towards a startling conclusion that our collective consciousness, when focused and coherent, creates a kind of field. A field that can interact with the physical world in subtle but measurable ways. It suggested that when we come together in thought and emotion, we are not just sharing an idea, we might be generating a force of nature. The implications are breathtaking. It is one thing to say we are all connected metaphorically through culture and communication. It is another thing entirely to suggest that we are connected by a literal physical field of consciousness. The GCP's data hints that the boundary between our inner world of thought and the outer world of matter may be more porous than we ever imagined. It suggests that the ancient idea of a global spirit is not just a beautiful piece of poetry, but maybe a tangible phenomenon that science is only now beginning to detect, hidden in the faint but persistent whispers within the static. Despite the compelling nature of its findings, the Global Consciousness Project is not without its critics. Mainstream science has, for the most part, remained skeptical. The primary challenge is that the effect, if it exists, is incredibly small. It is a tiny signal buried deep within a mountain of noisy data. Skeptics argue that the patterns observed could be the result of statistical anomalies, a case of finding meaning where there is none. They point out that with enough data, you are bound to find strange correlations by chance alone. This is a fair and important part of the scientific process, which demands extraordinary evidence for extraordinary claims. Another criticism leveled against the project is the lack of a clear, repeatable mechanism. How exactly would collective human emotion influence a shielded electronic device? What is the force carrier? What is the physics behind it? Without a solid theoretical model to explain the how, many scientists find it difficult to accept the results, no matter how statistically significant they seem. The GCP's findings exist at the very edge of our current scientific understanding, pushing into territory where neuroscience, psychology, and even quantum physics overlap in ways we do not yet fully comprehend. The data is a tantalizing clue, but the puzzle of how it works remains unsolved. Supporters of the project, however, argue that the sheer consistency of the results over 2 decades and across hundreds of events cannot be easily dismissed as mere chance. The odds against these patterns occurring randomly are, according to the project's own analysis, astronomical, trillions to 1. They suggest that we may be observing a new phenomenon that requires a new kind of science to understand it. Perhaps our current models of the universe are incomplete. Perhaps consciousness is a more fundamental aspect of reality than we have previously assumed, capable of interacting with the world in ways that defy our classical expectations of cause and effect. Ultimately, the Global Consciousness Project serves as a powerful and provocative clue. It does not provide all the answers, but it asks some of the most important questions of our time. It challenges us to look beyond the conventional boundaries of science and to consider the possibility that our minds are fundamentally interconnected. Whether its results are eventually explained by a new physics of consciousness or a subtle flaw in statistical analysis, the project has already succeeded in one crucial way. It has opened a door, inviting us to seriously investigate the profound and mysterious nature of our shared awareness and its potential to shape our world. Imagine a global sensor grid, not of random numbers, but of us. Our feelings, our thoughts, captured through everyday wearables. Smartwatches, fitness rings, and soon, brain-sensing headbands already track our heart rate, sleep, and even brain waves. These devices offer a window into our emotional and mental states. Now, picture millions of people anonymously sharing this data, creating a real-time map of humanity's inner world. With brain sensors, we'd go deeper, detecting patterns of focus, calm, or stress across the globe. This network would be voluntary, privacy first, and built for the greater good. The goal, not surveillance, but to reveal the grand patterns of our collective mind. For the first time, we could see a living, breathing mind map of our species. Raw data is just noise, until AI makes sense of it. An emotion mapping AI would interpret millions of biological signals, identifying the emotional climate of entire populations. It learns from patterns. A spike in heart rate and certain brainwaves might mean collective excitement or anxiety. The AI doesn't read minds, it reads the emotional weather. It adapts to cultural differences, time zones, and context, distinguishing joy from crisis. Over time, it refines its understanding, detecting subtle states like compassion or creativity. This AI transforms data into a real-time, meaningful story of us. It's our new sense, perceiving the world's emotional fabric as it shifts. To unite all this data, we need a decentralized, secure network, no single point of control. Like blockchain, this system would be distributed across thousands of nodes worldwide. No government or corporation could own it. It belongs to everyone who participates. Data from wearables and brain sensors flows into this living digital organism. The AI runs across the network, constantly updating a dynamic map of global consciousness. Anyone could access this public utility, a GPS for the human soul. The technology is within reach. The vision is a digital nervous system for the planet. For the first time, humanity could see itself as one. The real power comes from feedback, seeing our collective state reflected back to us. Imagine getting an alert. Compassion is surging in your city, or anxiety is rising globally. This emotional weather report could inspire synchronized action meditations, support, or celebration. Influence trackers would correlate emotional shifts with world events, revealing how we respond as a species. The system becomes interactive, our awareness shapes our actions, which in turn shape the collective field. It's a mirror and a tool, helping us consciously manage and amplify positive change. We could see, in real time, how our intentions ripple outward. The network becomes a platform for global self-awareness and transformation. This network could serve as an emotional early warning system. By detecting rising stress or anger in a region, we could intervene before conflict erupts. It's like a seismograph for social tension, spotting emotional precursors to violence or unrest. The same applies to mental health spikes in collective anxiety or depression could trigger rapid, targeted support. The system could alert responders to crises before they hit the news, directing aid where it's needed most. We'd shift from reacting to problems to preventing them. For the first time, we could feel the world's pain and respond with speed and compassion. It's proactive care for the global heart. Beyond crisis prevention, this network could help us build peace. Imagine millions joining synchronized meditations for a cause measured, mapped, and amplified in real time. The network would track the coherence of our collective intention, linking it to real-world outcomes. Emotional responses to global events, like climate disasters, could be channeled into immediate action donations, petitions, or support. It's not about conformity, but coordinated, voluntary action for the greater good. The platform would empower us to turn fleeting emotion into lasting change. Our shared hopes become visible, actionable, and powerful. This is the foundation for a new kind of global citizenship rooted in awareness, empathy, and collective responsibility. Ultimately, the potential of a global consciousness network is not just about preventing the bad, but about cultivating the good. It could become a platform for celebrating and enhancing the very best of human experience. Think of it as a tool for composing a global symphony of minds. We could explore the nature of collective creativity, for instance. What does the emotional and neurological signature of a global aha moment look like? Could we create conditions that foster worldwide bursts of innovation and artistic inspiration, and then learn to replicate them? The network could help us understand how great ideas are born from the collective unconscious. It would also offer a profound new dimension to our shared cultural experiences. Imagine watching the Olympic Games or the World Cup, not just as a spectator, but as a participant in the global wave of excitement and joy. Your personal device could show you how your own emotional response is synchronized with hundreds of millions of others, making you feel a tangible connection to the worldwide celebration. This would deepen our sense of community and shared identity, breaking down barriers of nationality and culture, by reminding us of the universal human emotions that unite us all in moments of triumph and spectacle. On a more personal level, the feedback loop from the network could serve as a guide for our own spiritual and emotional growth. By seeing the emotional weather report, we could learn to better understand how our own inner state is influenced by the collective and how we, in turn, contribute to it. If you notice you are feeling inexplicably anxious on a day when the network reports high global tension, it might provide a sense of validation and context. It could encourage you to take a moment to center yourself, knowing that your personal peace contributes, in a small but real way, to the peace of the whole. This technology could usher in an age of unprecedented empathy. By truly seeing and feeling the emotional state of humanity, it would become much harder to ignore the suffering of others or to feel disconnected from their joy. The network would be a constant, gentle reminder of our profound interconnectedness. It would not solve all our problems overnight, but it would give us a new and powerful sense. A sense of ourselves as a single planetary family. A family that is learning for the first time to think, to feel, and to dream together, composing a future that is more conscious, more connected, and more compassionate. For millennia, human wisdom traditions spoke of a fundamental unifying truth, that we are all expressions of a single, indivisible whole. In Buddhism, this is interbeing, everything is interconnected. Indigenous cultures understand this collective spirit as the life force animating all creation. This worldview sees humanity as an integral part of a living, conscious planet. Though often dismissed by the modern world, science is now, in its own way, beginning to build a bridge to these ancient truths. The Global Consciousness Network is a technological manifestation of what these wisdom traditions have described all along. The creation of a global consciousness network would represent a profound synthesis of science and spirituality. This system would integrate objective data and subjective experience, showing that insights from meditation and data from technology are paths to the same truth. This convergence represents a new kind of knowing, honoring both the quantitative and the qualitative. This union creates a powerful feedback loop, where science provides the map and wisdom provides the compass. This network is a tool, reflecting our collective state, enhancing individuality by grounding it in interconnectedness. Science is catching up to ancient wisdom, exploring non-local consciousness through quantum physics. A global consciousness network expresses this convergence, proving we can have both a scientific and soulful future. As we imagine this incredible future, we must also pause, because a tool this powerful is a double-edged sword, and its creation raises some of the most profound ethical questions we have ever faced. The first and most critical concern is privacy. The potential for misuse is immense, creating a surveillance tool beyond dreams. We would need to establish unbreakable international laws and ethical codes to govern this technology, ensuring it serves humanity as a whole. This leads us to the next great danger: manipulation. This would be a form of global-scale psychological warfare. These are not easy questions. They force us to ask whether some doors, once opened, can ever be closed again. Beyond privacy risks, there are philosophical challenges. One significant problem is bias. Whose consciousness would this network reflect? Technology is never neutral. It's shaped by its creators. There's a danger it could become a tool of cultural imperialism, skewing our definition of normal. The network could amplify the powerful, marginalizing the unheard. We risk creating a digital caricature, not a true reflection. The network gives us power, but no wisdom. Before connecting minds, we must connect hearts, building trust and shared values. We stand at a profound crossroads, looking out at a future that is both thrilling and daunting. The journey to a global consciousness network is about the evolution of awareness itself. This technology offers the possibility of humanity becoming aware of itself as a single, interconnected organism. The ethical dilemmas are monumental mountains we must climb with great care and wisdom. It demands that we cultivate a new level of global trust and shared ethical commitment. This is a tool that could unite us in unprecedented empathy or divide us with terrifying efficiency. A true global consciousness network would be the next great leap, creating a more conscious, connected, and ultimately a more compassionate world. We can choose to build the bridges that will connect us. The creation of a global consciousness network could be the most important project we ever undertake. It could be the moment humanity wakes up as one living, breathing, and conscious planet ready to face its future together.